The next day, Ade and Aina made their way to the orphanage in the neighboring town. It was a modest building surrounded by a fence and filled with the sounds of children playing. The caretaker, an elderly woman named Ibeji, greeted them warmly. "We've come to adopt a child," Ade explained. Once upon a time, in the heart of a Yoruba village named Igbole, there lived a childless couple, Ade and his wife Aina. They were well respected in their community, known for their kindness and generosity. However, they carried a deep sorrow in their hearts because they had no children. For years, Ade and Aina had prayed to the gods, consulted with babalawos, and performed numerous rituals, but still their home remained silent and empty. The sound of children's laughter that echoed through the village never reached their compound. One evening, after a particularly heartbreaking day, Ade turned to Aina with a heavy heart. "Maybe we should consider adopting a child," he suggested. Aina looked at him with tears in her eyes. "Do you think it will fill the emptiness in our hearts?" "It's worth a try," Ade replied. "A child, any child, will bring joy and laughter to our home." The next day, Ade and Aina made their way to the orphanage in a neighboring town. It was a modest building surrounded by a fence and filled with the sounds of children playing. The caretaker, an elderly woman named Ibeji, greeted them warmly. "We've come to adopt a child," Ade explained. Ibeji's eyes sparkled with kindness. "There are many children here who need a loving home. Please come inside." As they walked through the orphanage, Ade and Aina saw children of all ages playing, laughing, and chatting. Their hearts ached at the sight of so many children without families. Ibeji led them to a small room where a boy sat alone, staring out the window. "This is Tunde," she said softly. "He came to us a few months ago. He's a quiet boy but needs a good home." Ade and Aina approached Tunde. He was about 8 years old, with a solemn expression and piercing eyes that seemed to hold a world of secrets. Despite his silence, there was something about him that drew them in. "Hello, Tunde," Aina said gently. "Would you like to come home with us?" Tunde looked at her, then at Ade, and nodded slowly. Ibeji smiled. "He's a good boy. He just needs time to adjust." With that, Ade and Aina completed the necessary paperwork and took Tunde home. They hoped that he would bring joy and laughter they had longed for. At first, Tunde was quiet and reserved, but as the days passed, strange things began to happen. Animals in the village fell ill, crops withered, and an eerie silence seemed to develop. Villagers whispered about the new boy, their suspicions growing with each passing day. One night, Aina woke up to find Tunde standing at the foot of their bed, staring at them with those same piercing eyes. She shivered and gently asked, "Tunde, are you all right?" Without a word, Tunde turned and walked back to his room. Aina's heart pounded in her chest as she watched him go. She felt a deep unease, but tried to dismiss it as her imaginations. As time went on, the strange occurrences intensified. Ade and Aina sought the counsel of the village elders, Baba Ijebu. He listened to their concern and then spoke gravely. "There is something unnatural about this child," he said. "We must consult the oracle to uncover the truth." The next day, they visited the oracle, a wise and powerful woman named Iya Oyo. She performed rituals and chanted incantations, her eyes rolling back as she entered a trance. "The child you have taken in is not what he seems," she declared. "He harbors a dark spirit, one that brings misfortune and sorrow. You must return him to the orphanage or your village will suffer." Ade and Aina were heartbroken. They had grown fond of Tunde, despite the strange occurrences, but they couldn't ignore the oracle's warning. With heavy hearts, they decided to return Tunde to the orphanage. Baba Ijebu and Iya Oyo were summoned once more. Iya Oyo performed a powerful ritual calling upon the ancestors and the spirits of the land to banish the dark spirits that had taken hold of Tunde. The air grew thick with energy as Iya Oyo chanted, her voice rising and falling like the wind. Tunde appeared again, his form twisted and monstrous. He roared in anger, but the power of the ritual was too strong. With a final deafening cry, Tunde was consumed by a blinding light. When it faded, he was gone, and the darkness that had plagued the village was lifted. With Tunde gone, peace returned to Igbole. Ade, Aina, and Bola could finally live without fear. They thanked Iya Oyo and Baba Ijebu for their help, and life slowly returned to normal. Bola grew up to a beloved member of the community, her laughter a constant reminder of the joy she brought to Ade and Aina's life. They never forgot the dark times, they cherished the happiness they now shared. And so, the story of the childless couple who adopted an evil child became a legend in Igbole, a tale of caution and hope passed down through generations. The villagers learned to respect the spirits, the mysteries of the world, always remembering that even in the darkest time, there is a chance for light and redemption.